If you are an artist or a teacher or an artist and a teacher, I have got an awesome project for you. It is a digital still life drawing collage. It's all on free apps. You can do it on any computer, including a Chromebook, so it's great for doing with your kids or for yourself. I love doing it and my students love doing it, and every single one of them turned out awesome. So I'm going to show this to you. Here's my example. And I'm going to show you some of my student examples. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I think you're going to love it. And if you like this video and you find it useful, please like, share, comment in the comment section down below, and also consider supporting the channel by subscribing. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to Chrome Canvas, which is my new favorite drawing application online. It's free, it's through Google, and it automatically saves all of your artwork. And it has all the tools so that you can draw it looking like a realistic drawing, and it's really fun to use. So if you haven't already watched my video on how to draw and shade geometric forms in Chrome Canvas, I put a link for that in a description and a card in the video. Watch that first, go draw your 5 forms, and then when you've done that, then come back and do this next step. These are the ones that I've drawn on my own personal account, and then I also have an account with my school, but you can access it whether or not you have an education account, and it automatically saves all your drawings. So I use it all the time with my students and also for myself. So here's some examples and other little things that I've been trying out. And so after you have your drawings, then you are going to also open up a website called Photopea.com. Photopea.com is a web-based photo editing program, and it's free. It is super similar to Photoshop, and I have been using it for literally everything that I do online. I just absolutely love it. So you're going to use that. Then the third thing that you're going to need is Jamboard. So you just make a new tab and click the waffle. Scroll down and you will see the icon for Jamboard, and you'll click on it. We'll come back to that later. I'm going to show you how to start from scratch. So to get started, we're going to go to Canvas and assume that you have already drawn your forms. Let's start with the cone. So I'm going to click on my cone, and I want to save this image. Don't just screenshot it. Instead, up in the top right hand side, we're going to click on the 3 dots, and then we're going to click Save as Image, and that is going to download it as a PNG that we can use. Then we're going to go to Photopea, which again is a free web-based photo editing program that I just absolutely love. It's just like Photoshop, only it's free and it's web-based. So here we are going to bring in our cone. So we're going to go up to the top left-hand side to File, click on that, and then we're not going to choose New, we're going to go to Open. When we go to Open, then make sure you're in your downloads and then open up that PNG that you just saved. Now the first thing we want to do is just isolate the cone and the shadow. So we want to crop it. So we're going to go on the left hand side is where all the tools are, and we're going to choose the second one, which looks like a rectangle, like a dotted line rectangle. So if you don't see that rectangle, then you long press, then you'll get a menu that you can choose from, but we do want the rectangle for this. Then we want to isolate it. I'm going to enlarge just a little bit, and I'm going to do that by putting my 2 fingers on the touchpad and moving them away from each other. And that's going to zoom in. If you need to, or you don't want to do it that way, at the top you see View, and there you can click on View and zoom in, zoom out, or fit the area. But we like it like this, and we are going to crop in very close to, but not touching, the shadow and the form. So once you have it, and you can see there's a teeny tiny bit of white space around it, let go, and now you have a dotted lined rectangle around it, but you want to cut that out. So if you go up to the top, you see File, Edit, and Image, and you're going to click on Image, and then you're going to go down to Crop. So I cropped it, and now it cut that out. So that's awesome. That's where we want to be. Do you see how there's a little dotted line still around it? If you can't get that off of there, go up to Select at the top, and then hit Deselect until you don't have it. Now we're doing pretty good. We have our form on our shadow, but we don't want this horizon line, so we want to erase it. On the left-hand side is where all the tools are, and I don't see the eraser. You may have the eraser because sometimes it has its own spot, but if you don't see it, go to about halfway down and you're going to see a paintbrush. Hold down on that and up will pop a menu and you're going to choose eraser tool. So there we are, and I like this size of eraser that popped up. If yours comes up smaller, which it might, and you want it to be bigger, at the top you're going to see a circle and a triangle, and if you click on that you can choose your size of your eraser. I think that 40 something size was pretty good, so I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to just erase the line and not everything else, just the line. And I'm going to zoom in even more to make sure I did, and I did. So this is good. We're in great shape. We're going to erase just up to it, but not past it. And then we want to erase everything else. And now here is a magical shortcut. And in fact, it's called Magic Wand. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the third one down is probably something that looks like a magic wand, and it's called Magic Wand. If you don't see it, long press and you'll get some selection options, but Magic Wand is usually the one at the top. Now, if I go back to my white space and I click on the white space, do you see how there's a dotted line around the white space? If I hit delete or backspace, depending on your keyboard, now it's gone. This checkerboard means that it's invisible. It's letting you know it's invisible. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other white spot, and I'm going to make sure that it really is outlining what I want, but it is. Hit delete or backspace, now it's gone. So basically we've done everything we need to do now. So we look at it and it really is just the shape and the shadow. That's what we want, so we've got to save it. But here's something you need to know is that the program is web-based, so if your internet goes out, if your computer shuts down, if there's a glitch, whatever work you did is going to disappear. The way to solve this is to save often. So if you go to File, and down to Save as PSD, you're going to click on that. That saves it as a working file that you can then later open and use again and continue working on. So it's not like a JPEG or a PNG. You can't email it and open it on your phone, but it is a working file for Photopea, and you can also use it in Photoshop. So I saved it as a PSD, but now I need to save it as a PNG to use in Google Jamboard. So I'm going to go back up to the file and down where it says export as, then over to PNG. You want to save it as a PNG because that will preserve the transparent background. The checkerboard marks mean that it's transparent, and so if you save it as a PNG, that will be invisible for our next step. If you save it as a JPEG, it won't be invisible and you'll have this gray background that's in the way. So export as PNG and then hit save. And it's going to pop up kind of big, but that's okay. Now we're going to go to Google Jamboard and we're going to make a new Jamboard. Now if you're my student, I had a Jamboard ready for you, and if you have students, you would get one ready for them. But if you're just doing it on your own, you go down to the lower right hand side and click on this plus mark. It's going to make a new Jamboard. And then we have this blank page. What we want to do now is get our cone onto the Jamboard. So we're going to go here on the left hand side where the tools are, and you'll see a few down, there's a little tiny picture of mountains, and you're going to click on the mountains. And then you are going to browse to upload your image. If you're on a Chromebook, you're probably going to go to your Google Drive, and it's probably going to be in either your recents or your downloads. For me, I'm on a computer, so I'm going to go to browse and make sure it's the one that says PNG. So the cropped one that says PNG, not the PSD. And now I have it in Jamboard. Now the way that you can tell if you did a good job, if it worked, is I am going to Control C to copy it and then Control V to paste it. And now look, I've got two and they overlap and they interact with each other, but there's not a background in the way. So I know, woohoo, I'm doing great. So we're going to do this same process and I'll go faster for the other ones. So I'm going to go back to home up on the left hand side of Canvas and we'll do the other ones. Let's do the pyramid. We're going to go up to the top right hand side, save it by using the three dots, click Save as Image. It downloads it as a PNG, and then I'm going to go to Photopea again. Then I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to upload my pyramid. Then I want to crop it first, so I go to the rectangle, click on that, and only outline my shadow and my form with just a teeny tiny bit of white space, but not too much. Then in order to crop it, I go up to the top where it says image and down to crop. Boom, done. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, and then go to erase. And since you already use the eraser button, it's probably still there, but again, if you can't find it, it is behind the paintbrush. I'm going to erase the horizon line. And the reason why we do erase the horizon line instead of Magic Wand is because Magic Wand thinks we want to keep the horizon line, and we do not. So there we go. Then we go to Magic Wand on the left, click on the white space, make sure the correct part is outlined, which it is, and then delete or backspace depending on your keyboard. Then do the same thing here. Boom, done. We are going to File, Save as PSD in case we want to work on this again, and then we're going to go File, Export as PNG, save, then go back to Jamboard, and we are going to go to our little mountain, add image, and go to your downloads or your recent and get the PNG that you just cut out. And there you have it. Now we've got these two. And we're just going to repeat that over and over. There is one extra thing I need to show you with the sphere, which is why I saved it for last. So I'm saving it, and then I'm going to Photopea, and I'm going to open it just like normal. Now here is the only issue. We're still going to crop it nice and close, but not touching. And then go image, crop, zoom in. And we're going to still use the eraser, same way for the horizon line. I think I need to go a little closer for that one. Alright, now, here's the problem is that sometimes this light area is confusing to Magic Wand. So let's see. We go to Magic Wand. Do you see how the outline wants to also erase part of the sphere? So this is an easy fix, but instead of going straight for the Magic Wand, we're going to go back to our eraser, and we are going to just hand erase this part. This is telling the program or the computer that we don't want the white part of our sphere to be erased. So we're making a clear border there. So I just erase that part, and I probably don't need to erase this part, but I will just for fun. Okay, now I can go back to my Magic Wand, and it's only going to select the other parts. Same as before. And we can check, but that all looks good, so we'll go ahead and delete it. So that was just the only little extra part, is erasing by hand around the very light part of the sphere. Then we go to File and Save as PSD again, and then Export as PNG, and this is going to be our last one to upload. So I go back to my mountains, add image, and then go back to my downloads and make sure I've got the PNG. And now I have all of them. So this is awesome. So I have all of them. I can move them around. I can do Control C or Command C and then Control or Command V and make copies. I can make them bigger by dragging on the corner. I can turn them if one of them's kind of crooked. So I can move them, I can multiply them, I can do anything I want to. So if that's as far as you want to go, you can stop there and play with it. But I'm going to show you how I had my students make their still life. And then you'll be able to do it on your own. So now that you have your 5 forms in here and they're all cut out with their transparent backgrounds and you can do anything you want to, the first thing that I did was I went to the tools, to the top one, and I chose a pen, a gray pen, and I drew a line across the top third of my page. You can draw it by hand if you want to, or if you want it to be straight, hold down Shift in the touchpad, drag it across. So you like how it looks, and then let go, and now you have the horizon line. Then you're gonna go to the arrow and click on that on the left, and now you can arrange it however you want to. Don't worry about the line for now because you're gonna erase what you don't need. But think about overlapping in a variety of sizes. Think about space. Think about the things that are going to be closer to a viewer are going to be lower on the page, and things that are going to be further away are going to be higher on the page. So if you want something like this to be in front, you can just hold down Command and the up arrow and it will go in front. If you want it to go down behind several all at once, hold down Shift and Command or Control and down or up, and it will push it all the way back or all the way up. But if you just want it to go one step back or forward, then just hold down the Command or Control and the up or down button. Like this one's underneath everything and I want it in front, so I'm just gonna go Control and then the up arrow, and then if you want it to just keep going, keep hitting the up arrow. Have fun with it. You can have multiples, you can have teeny tiny ones and really, really big ones. Just make sure the objects look like they're in real space and not either floating above the horizon or stabbing an object. So you want them to feel like they're sitting on the table or on the surface. And if I want to repeat something, I just do Control and paste. And then I've got a bunch of them, and you can see how this could be really, 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 really fun. And that's basically it. I'm gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna call it a wrap. Then when you're happy with it, you have one last step, which is you're gonna zoom in. We want this horizon line to look like it goes behind everything. So we're gonna choose the tool below the pen, which is the eraser. We're gonna zoom in, and the way we do that is up at the top, there's a magnifying glass. Click on the arrow next to it and choose 200. And then you're gonna use your eraser and erase so that it looks like it's going behind. So don't leave any white space showing, but also don't let the line stab into your artwork. And this is going to be the optical illusion that lets people feel like that line goes behind all of your forms, and it will help your forms feel like they really are sitting in real space. So just zoom in as much as you need to and erase these extra lines that are in front, and wait till you see how it looks. There we go. Now we've got horizon line in the background and everything's done. So there's my finished still life. I love it. I have so much fun doing this. Once you get all your forms in here, it's so relaxing to just copy and paste and play around with it. It's like you made your own puzzle, but instead of a puzzle, you're creating your own still life. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in to 200% and go over on the lower right hand side, and I'm gonna sign my name. So I'm gonna use the pen. If you're a student, you might just want to put your initials if it's going to be online. And then you can put the year if you want to. But if you zoom in big, it'll be easier to do. Zoom back out, take one last look. There you are, you're done. And you can see once you zoom out how nice the signature looks on the lower right hand side there. So zoom in really big to draw your signature and just take your time, and then you're done. And now that you're done, you just save it by going up to the top right hand corner. There's a share button and 3 dots. Click the 3 dots and choose the third option down that says save frame as image, and that is going to download it as a PNG, and then you have it to use. And my student told me that I should tell you all this because I asked them if there was anything I should have told them, and they said the only thing that one of them said was he had to draw on paper because of a technology issue. So he drew on paper, and you can do the exact same process. So this one here, and let me zoom in, this was done on paper and then still photographed, brought into Photopea, and cut out exactly the same ways. You can still do this digital still life with hand-drawn drawings and then digitally cut them out in Photopea still. So that's what he said I should tell you. So all of these cones are done on paper, and then everything else is drawn on Chrome Canvas. So that's what my student said I should show you. So there it is. So there you have it. You already learned how to draw and shade your geometric forms and make them look realistic on Chrome Canvas. And you learned how to bring them into Photopea, how to cut them out digitally with a transparent background. And then you learned how to import them into Jamboard and create really beautiful, awesome, creative still life drawing collages. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it useful, and I really appreciate you stopping by. If you did find it useful or you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I love you. Bye. Mwah.